Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to give you an update on Puff Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs. He is actually still in jail, so we'll talk more about that. I believe more witnesses and more victims are coming out. Also, we're going to view a couple little snippets of Kamala Harris and Oprah Winfrey town hall meeting. It was pretty, I guess, expected of the answers what Kamala Harris gave. We'll take a couple of clips from that and we'll talk about that. That also, we are going to be discussing Kamala Harris, actually Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson is receiving some backlash about her Kamala Harris statement in regards to her, I guess, ethnicity. So we'll discuss that. I don't know if they're really trying to cancel Janet Jackson for making these statements, but who knows? Kamala Harris is supposed to be, I guess, now the Janet Jackson of America. Once before Janet Jackson, I guess she tarnished her name because of the Super Bowl, but I guess Kamala Harris is the sweetheart of America. I'm not for sure. But anyway, we'll talk more about that on another episode of Business Talk. So you guys stay tuned.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Let's see who we have in the building. I see we have Super Producer in the building. What is good, Super Producer? If you guys have not followed our other channel, it's Chawanne Burns 2.0. Also, Super Producer has her own channel. It's called All in the Queue. Actually, if you guys could do me a favor, Super Producer, if you could put that in the stream, you guys make sure you go over to her channel and give her a channel. We talk about some interesting topics on the Unpopular Opinion podcast. Yes, this morning we was talking nothing about all about Sean Diddy Combs. So we're going to also discuss that today. I see we have Noble Young in the building. What is good? Tiffany Riley, what is good with you? We have Muata from Little Rock, Arkansas. Posh Pedal, DC is in the house. Justin Thompson, what is good with you? It's always great to see everyone. You guys, like I said, remember to post where you are viewing from and make sure you like and subscribe and share this video. Celeste Hodges, good morning. Actually, it's afternoon over here, so afternoon to you as well. So I don't want to keep you guys, on long. We do have a lot of stories I want to cover. The first story that I think we should be covering, just an update on Sean Diddy Combs. Now, Sean Diddy Combs, we didn't get to talk about this Friday, but Sean Diddy Combs was actually put on suicide watch. Can we say the S word on YouTube? So we'll just say unalive watch. And they are suspecting, I don't know if he's going to do it to himself, but we could just say, they're trying to Jeffrey Epstein him, because we do know Sean Diddy Combs probably have a lot of information about some high power individuals in the music industry, maybe some politicians, some things that people do not want to surface and get out to the light. So they said, okay, we're going to put him on this unalive watch in this certain area of the prison. And we're going to make sure we're going to keep our eye on him. Is that something of a red flag? I think it's a red flag for them to do that, because he didn't seem like he was on the outs or down and out. I think he put in a plea of not guilty. You guys put in the chat. I think that's what somebody that pleads not guilty, he's saying, I'm trying to get out of jail. And as a matter of fact, he thought he was going to get out of jail when he turned himself in. When he moved back to New York City, and because his lawyer already prepared him, yes, they will be arresting you after this indictment. Okay, so I'm not for sure if I believe this particular watch. Now, let me just play this, share this with you. This is from Fox News. Oops. Fox News and Friends, and they're basically talking about, the prison that he's been held in, and why the judge denied his bail, all that good stuff.
Part that not only is Combs a flight risk, he's a danger to the community after prosecutors read damaging text messages between Combs and alleged victims in court, including those his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura sent after this disturbing caught-on-video attack from 2016 was released in May. Ventura saying, quote, "I have a black eye and a fat lip. You are sick for thinking it's okay to do what you've done." Another alleged victim's text referring to Ventura's civil lawsuit against Combs said this, quote, "I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma." Now, new reports are drawing comparisons between Combs and Jeffrey Epstein, who served time for trafficking dozens of young girls before his death. The New York Post quoting a DHS agent who helped search Combs' Miami home as saying, "In my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein." And attorney David Gelman telling Fox News, quote, this is like Epstein 2.0. You have a guy who is extremely rich and extremely powerful being charged with allegations that are inhumane. Now, Combs' defense, though, maintaining the rapper's innocence, calling his current jail conditions inhumane. Watch this.
The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and, I believe, inhumane housing conditions.
Combs' defense is working to convince the judge to move Combs from the special housing unit in the Metropolitan Detention Center to the Essex County Correctional Facility as a means to escape what many call horrific conditions at MDC.
It is not very nice. I've spent so much time in this jail that, God forbid anything happens to me, I think I get time served. I've been there many times. It is not a pleasant place, and many judges now, for lesser crimes, are refusing to send defendants there.
And Combs' defense also says while they don't want to waive speedy trial, they do need time to walk their client through the evidence provided to them by prosecutors. Now, Combs is due back in court on October 9th, guys.
All right, Chanley Painter live for us. Chanley.
Okay, so he's due back on October 9th. Okay, so now we're starting to see on the internet that, some people are separating themselves from Sean Diddy Combs. Some people are reminiscing or going back, bringing back old audio files and video files of Sean Diddy Combs' parties and things that he said. Some people are scrubbing their internet, I guess their social media. I found this one article, okay. I don't know why it's like this. I found this one article, and it's about Khloe Kardashian. Excuse my voice, you guys. Khloe Kardashian. She was reminiscing, I guess, about some of the parties that she attended. And one time she did attend a party with Justin Bieber, okay? This is sad. I think Justin Bieber, we could say he's a victim of Sean Diddy Combs and Usher, because when I believe Usher was trying to get him as an artist, or Sean Diddy was trying to get him as an artist, and it wasn't until Usher brought him in, and I guess they kind of convinced, quote unquote, Justin Bieber's parents that he should move into the house with Sean Combs. Okay. So, and it says this, and an old snippet of Khloe Kardashian discussing her experience at a notorious party hosted by Diddy is making the rounds again amid his recent legal troubles. This vintage clip from the hit reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians features Khloe recounting her wild times at the hip hop stars event to sister Kourtney. Let's rewind to 2014, where in an episode named Secrets of a Double Life, a glowing Khloe spills the juicy details while sitting cozily among her clothes. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Well, this party, I think half of the people were butt naked. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked. This is Khloe Kardashian. She lightheartedly adds, nudging at Kourtney's love for a good bash. You would have loved it. Kourtney pries into her weekend companions, and Khloe nonchalantly ropes several celebs, including Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber, confirming she hung out with them. So far, so good. Justin was 20 years old at the time when he attended the bash. Diddy's controversial soirées, as his legal team defended the events, claimed it's his infamous freak-offs, revelries, I don't know if that's when I'm saying it right, are a lifestyle, not a crime, reports to the Mirror. Another clip that has sparked interest on social media captures a conversation between Khloe and Kourtney, with Diddy himself on the show Cocktails with Khloe back in 2016. In a moment now resurfacing on Reddit, Khloe praises the rapper's legendary party, saying, well, I know you're known for the parties. When you think of a party or a good time, you think of Puff. Diddy just replied a simple yeah, to which Khloe nostalgically added, we've been known to party with you a few times. Now, this is so interesting because Khloe the Kardashians got famous by sleeping around, okay? And it was all because of Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, their mother, pimped them out to leak a sex tape of not a really big star, Ray J, Brandy Norwood's brother. You know, so now you have these other hoes, Kardashian hoes. I call them, yes, I did call them Kardashian hoes. Want to be in the limelight, trying to get famous to, or, you know, boost their, I guess, image up and to get known to people. I'm not for sure, but they're good old pals with P. Diddy. They don't see a problem with what P. Diddy did. Okay, and maybe during the parties that they attended, it was all fun and games. It's all fun and games, right? Until somebody get hurt. So this is one of the things that it might be a problem with the federal, the FBI and the DOJ trying to convict Sean Puffy Combs, because some of the people that attended the parties, they were there for the parties, the butt naked parties. They were actually there for the drugs and the sex and the fame, because that's what they do, you know. So, but when you have these outside people that wasn't willing to participate, that wasn't there necessarily for the drugs and Or maybe they were for the sex, but they wasn't planning to go 2 to 3 days. So that's when you have the problem. Okay, you're like basically kidnapping me. Yeah, it was fun for the time being. I was here, you paid me for the thing. But now you want to go 24, 48, 72 hours. A little bit much. Okay, so now you're holding me against my will. Okay, so I think that's when the problem comes in. All the people have left, all the famous people have left. And now you just get all these other people, working for you or making your freak off parties, your basically ex-slaves to do these things, and you're drugging them up and you're forcing them to do these things for 24 to 48 hours, which is really ridiculous. Okay, so there's two sides to every coin. Yes, I was there. I participated in the party because I wanted to be there. Then the other side, yeah, I wanted to be there only for 5 hours or 3 hours, but he made me stay for 48 hours and he made me do things that I wasn't willing to do. Yeah, I was willing to do it to this guy, but these other people, I wasn't trying to do all that, so those are the things that, number one, Sean Combs has to face, and I'm pretty sure the FBI does have evidence, more mounting evidence against him. And then the FBI, they probably will have to say, okay, maybe we don't want to call those witnesses, and maybe the defendant wants to call these people like Kourtney Kardashian. Whether they could put them up on the stand. Were the parties fun? Yeah, the parties were great. Ellen DeGeneres, did you attend the parties? Yeah, I attended the parties. Were the parties fun? Yeah, those parties were great. Everybody was laughing and smiling. So those are the things that the FBI maybe, I'm pretty sure they already thought about that. I'm pretty sure they already thought about the defendants putting these people on stand. Okay, and it says, curious about why it's memorable. Chloe pressed on asking, why was it so epic? Kourtney relived the moment, sharing that night was fun because all the girls ditched me. So it was like me and the boys. It was me, Kanye West, Corey, Tigger, just hanging out, and it was fun. And after the shocking news of Diddy's arrest went viral on social network, tales from the infamous events are being talked about more than ever. Diddy finds himself at Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center facing grave federal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution. Having pleaded not guilty on Tuesday, his legal team is poised with a bail suggestion of $50 million in requests for house arrest. However, Judge Tarnowski has decisively ordered Diddy to remain detained in jail because they feel like he is a threat. He is a threat to the witnesses, and he probably is a flight risk. If I own my own plane, I don't need a passport. Even his children and his mother turning over their passport really doesn't say anything. It doesn't really mean anything because I know people that owns planes. I could just call one of my people in and say, hey, I'm trying to take a flight to such and such. Can you put me on your plane? They don't ask for passport. They just leave. I'm just saying, this is something, it really doesn't matter if they have a passport or not. All their friends have private planes anyway. Who cares? Okay. And Diddy, if he's able to make calls to the outside, even though he's on this unalive watch, he could, give some direction and order to people and call whoever's the lifeline. And I'm pretty sure Diddy thought about it. Hey, if I ever get caught up, who would I call? Who's the person that could make some things move? I'm going to call X, Y, and Z, and get them to do X, Y, and Z. Or X, Y, and Z gonna happen to them. I'm just putting that out there. You guys put in the chat, let me know what you think. Okay. So Diddy is still in custody and people are scrubbing their internet. They said Usher scrubbed his internet, his Twitter or X feed. And he came out saying, hey, I was hacked. It's nothing, I'm not guilty. I was hacked. We don't know. I think Pink was one of them. She scrubbed her. Pink, I don't know how Pink has to do with anything, but I guess she's part of that music group. I guess she was signed to one of those Diddy's entities. And it was a couple of other artists that they said, oh, they're starting to, scrub their social media feed. I'm not going to play this, but I'll be sure he put a couple of pages on this book that Kim Porter, couple of pages of Kim Porter's book, Memoir, and he put it on his social media page. And in the social media, on his post, he was basically alluding that the book that they've published on Amazon that's getting pretty bad ratings, that it's really not Kim Porter's book. It says some really damning things about Al B. Sure, that Al B. Sure did have relationships with Sean Diddy. And of course, Al B. Sure denied it. It says some other salacious things that people are vehemently denying that happened. So they basically put this book out there to, I guess, change the lights on Sean Diddy Combs, to portray Sean Diddy Combs, hey, I'm not the only monster in this story. There's other people that are monsters in this story. But this book that they put out on Amazon is, I think, is just trying to distract from the real truth. Okay. And one thing about Al B. Sure post, he mentioned the publicist. Sean Diddy's publicist, Nicole, what is the lady's name? I just had her up. I said Nicole. Her name is Natalie Moore. Okay, Natalie Moore. She quit, saying she had to resign, and they're saying it was she's been Diddy's PR strategist for about 20 years. And I think she's going to be one of the main players in the FBI investigation or witnesses. That's if she hasn't already gave them information. On this post, this is from Digital Music News. They're saying Natalie Moore has helped Diddy cultivate his public image for more than 20 years, but emails Digital Music News sent to her Combs Enterprise now auto-respond with "This email is no longer active." The Daily Mail reports that her phone number has been disconnected as well. Speaking anonymously, a source close to the situation said, Natalie is gone. She is 100% gone. She quit today and had no other choice. She had to quit. What else was she going to do? The situation left her with no other option. And these are quotes from Natalie. Diddy was her entire world. She will surely be deposed for this if she has not been already. she has most likely had her cell phone confiscated. This is not Natalie. This is somebody close to Natalie. Okay. Who knows what is on there? The source continues. Moore is an Australian native who moved to New York City to begin her career as a commercial photographer. She was handpicked by Diddy in the late 90s to manage his leadership team and has been with him since. Her last tweet from September 2023, and it's a retweet of Diddy's celebration of Puff piece published in the New York Times last year when the mogul was still riding high. Combs is not in his accolades area. Last year, he received Lifetime Achievement Honor at the BET Awards. Now, it's crazy. You have this. Now, we could say Stevie J. Didn't Stevie J? That's Diddy's, I guess, ex-slave. Stevie J, he's won Grammy. He's a Grammy artist. I believe he produced a lot of songs or whatever. But what I'm getting at, Puff Daddy, is part of that bootleg, I guess, black Illuminati crew where he's able to push artists up there and get them certain accolades so people will recognize them. Hey, do this if you want this, okay? Let me get to the booty if you want this. And these are and they're basically selling their soul to the devil. And what I was getting at is, hey, they was just honoring this guy last year at BET Music Awards. Nobody in the BET family said, we probably shouldn't honor him because he's a piece of crap. No, nobody said that. No, nobody said it. They just honored him. This week, it's the Global Icon Award at the VMAs. The disruptor has become an establishment. And she said, it's saying that Moore has been with the enterprise since 1998. Okay, so that's about 24 years she's been, or 26 years, right? About, 24, 26 years she's been with Sean Diddy Combs. Okay, so I'm pretty sure she knows a lot about the information that went on in these freak-off parties. Think about it. I'm a PR person. You got to tell me everything. You got to tell me before the news hit it so I could get ahead of it. You know, I could suppress a lot of information because I know, since I'm a PR person, I know the other people that's looking for these stories. I know these other journalists and all this stuff. So I could call in a favor and tell them, hey, we could pay you off. Do not print this story. Do not run with this story. That's Natalie's job. Okay, so she's there to suppress the information. I'm going to get to some of your comments. Get Notice with Nikki is in the building. Hey, sis, and chat from Chicago. What is up? That was a setup. Fast forward 2024. Celeste Hodges, I agree. Social currency. Yeah, social currency is the currency, especially if you want to be, out there known. If your name ain't, well, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. If people don't know you, that's basically a bad thing. You're trying to get somewhere, they don't know you, good or bad, is basically a bad thing. So, but social currency is the thing to get you ahead. You can make a lot of money with social currency. So what law did he break? Well, they're saying he broke the racketeering, prostitution, and basically, what did they call them? When you move, I guess, sex victims from one place to another, trafficking. That's what I want to say. Trafficking. Okay, prostitution and trafficking. Samuel Matthews, what is good with you? Rosalie Mercury, what is good? He gonna call 4-4. He gonna call 4-4. Pink 2. I think he is going to throw everyone under the bus to lighten his sentence. Jay-Z, Naomi Campbell, Usher are next. Yeah, a lot of people saying Jay-Z is next. I'm not for sure. But Jay-Z is a person, he's real shiesty too. So I would say Jay-Z probably do something before he gets to the chopping block. You know, he's not gonna go down without a fight. Kennard the DJ, Puff in the pen right now playing pocket pool. Right. Okay. So we're going to our next subject. Real quick about Donald Trump. There was some new information that came out against the second assassinator attempter. You know, he has this letter that came out. And I just found this piece on Fox News, and they're basically saying, you know, he wrote a letter and sent it to, I guess, his friend, saying, hey, if this assassination tip is failed, I'm going to pay you $150,000 to complete my journey. This is why, you know, we need what is it called? Insane asylums. We need insane asylums because we can't just say everyone is walking around sane and they don't need help. Because this guy, you could tell something is wrong with him. And they said before, you know, they want him to see a psych evaluator before, you know, he enters a plea before the judge or stand before the judge.
This guy's obviously, he's got some kind of a balance.
Elected president. Well, there's a lot of people in our society who may have a screw loose. And if you're constantly telling them that American democracy is going to end if this guy gets elected president, well, somebody is going to feel that they're justified for doing this.
So he's right about that. A Secret Service briefing soon on the second attempt to assassinate former President Trump. We're going to see if we get some answers on why someone wasn't a step ahead of this suspect, Ryan Ruth, when red flags literally seem to be everywhere on this guy. Here is a retired police officer who says that he had more than 100 interactions with Ruth.
Mr. Ruth's attitude was, you know, that he was above everybody. He can do what he wanted. He liked to run his mouth and play the victim.
So, and this is a nurse who says that she met Ruth when the two of them were in Kyiv as part of civilian foreigner efforts to help people on the ground there. But she said she got a very strange feeling from him after she got to know him. Watch this.
He wanted to kill most world leaders. I don't remember. It's been over 2 years since I was with him, but I definitely remember he always talked about wanting to kill Putin, Kim Jong-un. He developed plans.
So Republican Congressman Mike Kelly leads a task force, which is now in the situation where they have to probe 2 assassination attempts against President Trump. He's receiving a Secret Service briefing just a few minutes from now. That's set to get underway at 4 o'clock. Congressman Kelly, thank you very much. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Martha. Thanks for having me on.
So when I heard about this briefing this morning, obviously it's very important anytime you all get information from the Secret Service because you're trying to do this investigation and figure out where the holes are and what happened. But I learned that it was going to be a virtual meeting and that Ronald Rowe, the new acting director of Secret Service, is not going to be involved in it. Can you explain those two things?
No, I can't explain a lot of when we talk about who we're going to get briefings from and how things change on a moment's notice. My understanding is Mr. Rowe is in Florida right now, and he won't be back here in D.C., but we're going to continue with the briefing, and we'll see what we get from that. I think that all of us right now, we're sitting back, and so in the last 60 days, there's been two attempts on former President Trump's life. And while the rhetoric is awfully heated, I think at one point or another, we have to ask ourselves as Americans, what in the world is going on right now? So we see this latest shooter, and we try to follow his background and say, so people knew about this. This guy is obviously, he's got some kind of a balance problem. But we seem to have more and more of these people that are cropping up right now, and they're maybe they think they're the savior of the world. They're the angel that needed to arrive. And you look at this, and a lot of it, I think it has to be some type of a mental illness. But we're going to continue to do a really deep dive. As you know, we started back in August with the task force, while the members of the task force, congressional members, 13, are all over the country in different time zones, different parts of the country. This task force has been at work. Thousands and thousands of pages of details we've looked over, 23 transcribed interviews. I was probably present for at least 6 of them, and a lot of that was with the local law forces that were back in Butler, Pennsylvania, that were on that site that day and trying to come to some kind of an understanding. Martha, as you know, and we know, it's a preparation for everything that is the key. There seems to be a lot of the lack of preparation in the Butler event. What happened on Sunday, we're going to find out as soon as we can.
You know what? We know they got lucky twice. And obviously, that was a good thing. We have several more weeks left in this election. And it just strikes me, I gotta go. But when I think about the people who got pushed off of social media because they said something wrong and were tracked on social media because they said something that the community or the owners of it didn't like. And then I hear about the stuff that this guy was doing, and yet he can fly from Hawaii to Florida and get close to where President Trump is, and nobody seems to know about his movements. I find, just something that we all need to kind of think about. And certainly
actually, she makes a valid point. You think about all the people that's been kicked off of social media because they said something wrong about COVID, or hey, they don't like whatever was going on. They have different political views of the person that actually owned the social media platform, and they were kicked off. And then they're tracking people on social media. They're tracking their moves. You have random visits from the FBI, some of these people. But then you have this guy like this, and Thomas Crooks, the guy that actually got off a shot and actually struck Donald Trump. And by the grace of God, he was positioned in a certain way that it only grazed his ear. Why is this happening? Yeah, we could say we know it's a mental health illness. We know that. But what about the preparation? What about the people that's supposed to be there? Secret Service is supposed to be there to protect not only Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, all these other people that are running our country or potentially would be running the country. Hell, he's the former president. He's supposed to have detail around him 24/7. Even if he doesn't even get elected, he will still have the protection of Secret Service. So we have to wonder and question who is allowing this stuff to happen, and why aren't they taking these things more seriously? Now, Congress just passed a unanimous bill beefing up Donald Trump's Secret Service protection. They just passed it earlier today. Okay, so we'll probably see more Secret Service around him, but that doesn't negate the fact that they are not prepared. Okay, we could have 20 people protecting Donald Trump, or maybe 40 people. They're doubling the number. I don't know what the original number was, but now we have 40 people. But if all the 40 people don't know what the hell they're doing, what's the point? You just wasting tax dollars at this point. Okay, we got to give a big shout out to Courtney Smith. Welcome to the family, and I really appreciate you. You guys make sure you give Courtney Smith a big internet hug. Welcome to the fam. Samuel Matthews, make insane asylums great again. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because, this guy, is something wrong with him. It's something wrong with him that you want to go on a mission. You want to recruit people to fight. Remember that video I showed you? You guys is posted up on my page, and he's saying, "Hey, we need more love in the world, and I don't know why more people from America is not coming over to Ukraine to fight." So his whole mission was to I guess take out these foreign leaders, these bad, quote unquote, bad leaders, and then to recruit for Ukraine to help Ukraine fight against Putin. And he has some crazy tweets on his feed. He was texting Elon Musk asking for a rocket, He was texting somebody else, or tagging other people. And these are high-powered people asking for money and saying, hey, we need to go over to convince Kim Jong-un that we're nice people. Crazy stuff like that. Anywho, Kennard the DJ, he's probably a dope fiend. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He probably be smoking something that's warped his brain, right? Samuel Matthews says 8 years of the media calling him Hitler will make people crazy itself. Yes, you have the mainstream media. They doubled down. After Trump got assassinated, they cooled down. They didn't say anything about Trump. And then the next thing they talked about Trump is bad stuff. Even you had your girl with the bald hair, Joy Reid, blonde bald hair or head. She was even saying that she didn't even believe that Trump was actually assassination attempt was real. Like really disgusting things about Donald Trump. Like you think he will stage that so somebody else could get killed and other people to get shot just to say, oh, look at me, they're trying to kill me. No, you guys are actually trying to take him out. That's your second plan. First plan is Joe Biden to take him out. And since Joe Biden couldn't run, well, we got to let him run against Kamala. So we got to kick Joe Biden out. Then the second plan, hey, we know that we got to get him just out of the race. Well, actually, the first plan was to politically prosecute Donald Trump. We tried to X him from the equation by politically prosecuting him. Well, that didn't work. He's still doing great in the polls. That didn't work. So now you have to see if Joe Biden could take him. Oh no, Joe Biden, he doesn't have all his mental acuity, mental function. So we got to take Joe Biden now and let Kamala run. But Kamala, she doesn't have her mental faculties. Because she has bird brain, okay? We could say Kamala Harris is not that smart, okay? Kamala Harris is not smart. She's not a smart woman. Don't know how she got this far in her career. But she's not a smart woman. Only thing smart she's done is she's able to put herself in the position and laugh her way through. She's a nice looking lady. I'm pretty sure back in the day they were like, oh, they were smitten by her. Oh yeah, she's nice, so they let her get away with things that if it was a regular man or just a normal looking woman, they will probably have to have come with the stuff, to have the background to just say I'm running for Senate. No, you have to be able to run for, you couldn't just be cute. So, and sleep around. So anyway, Kamala Harris is not working because she's still neck and neck on the polls. It doesn't matter how many interviews. She's given 3 interviews since The mainstream media is saying that she wiped the floor with Donald Trump, but she's still neck and neck in the polls. She haven't taken one lead in the polls. And she's given three interviews since she mopped the floor with Donald Trump. So we still have to continue to take Donald Trump out. We got to take him out the equation because they are afraid of him winning. Okay? This leads me to my next story. Kamala Harris. We have Van Jones. Now, he wasn't crying. This is a rare interview of Van Jones not crying. But they wanted to talk about Kamala Harris' strategy. You know, her taking questions. And so she was on The Wire answering Google search about herself. How to pronounce Kamala Harris. What did Kamala Harris' mother tell her? What does Kamala Harris stands for? This is fake. I believe this is fake. Does Kamala Harris, how was Kamala Harris? And she rips off these things to finish the Google search. Okay. And then Kamala Harris says, oh, that's a funny question. I'm glad you asked. This is actually a good question. This is what she did. Okay. Harris opens up about her relationships with her stepchildren. Kamala Harris' defense, I'm not for sure about that. I will have to go back to look to see when did Kamala Harris get into the picture. I've had mentioned, Kamala Harris and the ex-wife, they're all one close-knit family, but I'm pretty sure these are wealthy people, okay? What kind of, did you actually raise these kids? Did you come home every night from being a senator or a prosecutor, long hours, ladies, long hours, and say, oh, let me help you with your homework? Doubt it. Did you come home and say, hey, let's eat at the dinner table? Probably not. Those things. And then Doug Emhoff, I believe he's a lawyer, correct? Like an entertainment lawyer. He probably was home more than you were because you were in politics. You were the district attorney. So I'm just saying, being a career woman, you wouldn't have the luxury of being a full-time mother. And then on top of that, a stepmother. So I could see Huckabee saying, yeah, she doesn't have anybody to be in check. Then on the other hand, maybe she did. Maybe because they portray this image during the DNC that the young lady that raised $9 million for the Palestinian people, that's her stepdaughter. She didn't look crazy, but any other video or images you see her in, she looks out there. She looks like a extremist. I'm pretty sure that's a talking point at the table. Why are you doing that? You making me look bad. Why are you participating in these rallies? You making me look bad. You can't tell me that's not a talking point. You guys put it in the chat. Now, this is Van Jones defending Kamala Harris. Van Jones is saying, he said he's known Kamala Harris for 25 years. I've known people for 25 years, and then one day they end up getting a divorce. Yeah, we don't know that. We could say, oh, she's A++ and make this blended family work. No, she's probably saying, if you guys don't want to ride this gravy train, y'all better step in line, because this gravy train is about to leave you. If you want it, if you want a ticket, you better get on board, okay? You better get in line. So we don't know if her family is working out. They probably going home arguing with each other. If Kamala Harris is an alcoholic, she don't like men, so Doug Emhoff, or whatever his last name is, he's real passive. So he's probably letting Kamala walk right over her. And Kamala's wearing the pants in that relationship. So we don't know. But everybody's beating Kamala's tune. Who says that works? Like, you just saying that. Oh, she's A+ rating and making blended family work. We don't know that. We don't know that. We just know what we see, what the media portrays. And they put on a good look for cameras and smiling and stuff. Okay, so we're not going to get into that. I want to talk about Oprah's quote-unquote star power. And before we actually get into the actual interview, this is a town hall meeting that was held at Oakland County, in Michigan, okay? So they have several people, probably 100 to 200 people on site. This looks like the library, actually. But wherever they're at, they're on site, and then they had these Zoom people that's chiming in on Zoom. Oprah Winfrey, before she brought Kamala Harris out to the stage, she went around and asked questions, or to get people to say, hey, this is what we need to do to get more people riled up for Kamala Harris, okay? And one part of the interview, Oprah Winfrey called on this white lady. Why does it have to be, this is me, why does it have to be, hey, we need to get more white women to vote for Kamala Harris? Because your reproductive rights, you voting against your own rights. I just don't understand that. So you're saying just because I have a vagina and you're saying my reproductive rights is at stake. I don't know what that means. Some of you guys are old enough not to have any reproductive rights because you're not being reproductive. But we're gonna vote for our daughters and all the women's for the A word, okay? But Pete, this what this woman says before we get to her interview. Can you hear the audio now? This is crazy. I don't know why the audio is giving me a hard time now, you guys. We can't hear the videos you play. I plugged it back in. Let me see if you could hear this. Okay. Let me hold on for a second.
We're not a monolith. You can have your viewpoint and views for where you believe, but I think choosing, if I have the choice to go into someone to make
Can you hear this?
the best decision for my family, I don't want someone who has 34 convictions. I don't want someone who is going to choose hate over choosing the best possible way to unite us as a country. And so I see Vice President Harris as being the best person. We're choosing the best possible way to unite us as a country. And so I see Vice President Harris as
Chawanne Burns is the organizer of White Women Answer the Call. Chawanne, what do you want to say? What do you want to say specifically to white women in Oakland County, white women throughout the United States about this moment in answering the call?
Even if you are a white woman who is voting for Kamala Harris, that's not enough. You have to get off the sidelines and do the work like Black women and Black men have been doing for decades and follow the lead of people like Jotega Edie, whose lead we followed on our call. We have to be waking up every day and phone banking and knocking doors and sending texts. But most important, we have to be persuading the white women in our lives. We may be part of the 47%, but we know the 53%. They're our mothers and our sisters and our friends, and we have to tell them to vote not just in their own self-interests, but in all women's best interests.
Right, and so that's what tonight is all about.
This is my problem. How do you know this is all women's best interests? Where do you get that from? This is why I say not even white women, just women are stupid, period. I hate to say it like that, but sometimes I think women are like really retarded on the things that they say. Like, where do you get that? How dare you say, oh, this is everybody's best interest just because Kamala Harris believes in reproductive rights? Maybe I don't believe in abortion. Maybe I believe in God. How about that? I believe in God. I believe that if I was pregnant with the baby, this is a gift from God. And I don't believe in aborting the baby. I believe, okay, maybe I'm not able to take care of the baby. Maybe I want to give it up for adoption. Now, being sick or something, illness or something like that, that's different. We could take that off the table because that's not what Donald Trump is, he's against. He wants to make those exclusion rules that, hey, if a mother was, assaulted, molested, all the things, and if something's actually wrong with the mother, if she has this child, she could actually end her life. those are the exclusions that Donald Trump is against. So he would like to have, okay, those are things that we need abortion for. But we're talking about, just to have it as a birth control. I just don't understand that. Even IVF, they're saying that Donald Trump is against it, and that's totally wrong too, because he wants medical insurance to pay for IVF because it is an expensive process. So who are you to say this is our woman's best interest? And it's, to me, it's not. I don't think it's women's best interest for you to say, oh, I don't want to have kids. That's not a good look. Why do you have a vagina and a uterus? I'm not saying forcibly to make you have kids, but come on now. This is why our world looks the way it looks. This is why our population is declining. Anyway, and then when black women take on the views of a white woman, it never ends good for the black woman. It never ends good.
Tonight is all about leaving this moment here and figuring out what it is you can do in your own home, in your own community, in your own district to spread the word and spread the vote. So Bianca Shaw is the youth director for South Asians for Harris. What are you hearing from the South Asian community?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I want to start off and say, when I answered that call that I would be here, I said, me? Are you sure? Because I cannot believe it, but thank you so much.
And this is so fake. They trying to, oh, we're all inclusive. We're doing this, we're doing that. These are the most racist people that's probably on your platform. All this is some BS. Oh, Asians for Southeast Asians, white women, black men, which why they always showing the black men. Any black man that's voting for Kamala Harris, he's really not a man. He's not a man. You're not a man if you're voting for Kamala Harris. You can get mad at me in the chat. You're not a man. But all these different nationalities and ethnic groups is voting for Kamala Harris. And they're saying, oh, this is so wonderful. This is so freaking fake. This is the fakest crap I ever seen in my freaking life. Look at this melting pot. And knowingly, they will go back to their own community, and only people that they conversate with is the people that look like them. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, this is fake right here. They want to view the world like this. But really, America is 64% white. You got to deal with white people. It's still white American. Oprah, you love bringing in all these Africans, these girls from Africa, and doing whatever you're doing with the African girls because you want people to look like you because you're a billionaire. You're able to bring people in, pay people whatever you want to pay them to see the audience you want to see. But that's not our world. Our world is we're going to be around white folks. So you might as well deal with it. This is not America. Hello, this is fake. This is not America. I'm sorry. It's not America. If you think this is America, it's not. This is fake. And the only reason why I'm getting upset about it is because Democrats want you to believe that they want to be like this whole melting pot and mixture of people. No, you got one Democrat on one hand trying to eradicate the white man for some odd reason. Then on the other hand, you got white women mad as hell at black women if they don't take up the charge. And then you got black men in the background crying, not really doing much of anything, but they just crying in the background. And then you got the submissive white men that's playing along with their bullshit and being erased. being erased, jobs being taken from them. And then you got this Southeast Asian woman saying, "Oh, this is I'm going to answer the charge, and this is something that I want to do for, this is so beautiful." So it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't know if you, before I know I'm keep on ranting and raving about this, but before I move on, have you guys seen the campaign ad for Kamala Harris saying, support Doug Emhoff? He's the first Jewish, not first lady, but first man. He'll be the first man Jewish husband. It's like, who gives a fuck? Excuse my lady. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And they're playing that. Like, support Doug Emhoff. He'll be the first. And this is what Democrats want. Oh, they're the first to do anything. Who gives a shit? Can they do it? Can they actually do it? That diversity inclusion, can they actually do the job? Well, I'm not gonna play this Southeast Asian lady. Why they call her a Southeast Asian lady? I'm not for sure. She's Indian, but they call her Southeast Asian. I'm not for sure. But anyway, I want to get to this one guy asking this question. Let me make sure. And check out Kamala Harris' answer.
Lie that has endangered the lives of Haitian people and anybody who looks Haitian. Everybody in America feels for that. And everybody in America, left, right, middle, has concerns about immigration. Yeah. And I'm told that Justin, where are you in the audience? Justin.
Hello.
In our audience.
Hello, Madam Vice President.
You live in Michigan.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't love saying hello, Madam Vice President.
I do.
What's your question? It's an immigration question.
My question for you is, when you become president, what would be your specific steps? Yeah, of course. What would be specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important question.
This is why I said black men. Yeah, what is wrong with all these black? I never seen so many black men that they've been showing on media, especially Kamala Harris supporters, that just like bitch made. Like, do you need to be in the ring and getting punched the hell out? Where's your muscles? Where's your bass? Bass in your voice. My voice is deeper than yours. Come on now. Stop it.
My background was as a prosecutor, and I was also the elected attorney general for 2 terms of a border state. So this is not a theoretical issue for me. This is something I've actually worked on. Okay. I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I take very seriously the importance of having a secure border and ensuring the safety of the American people. Sadly, where we are now can be traced most recently back to the fact that when the United States Congress, members of the Congress, including some of the most conservative Republicans, came up with a border security bill. And here's what that border security bill would have done. It would have put 1,500 more border agents. Let me tell you, those border agents are working around the clock. It would have just been about giving them some support and relief, which is probably why the border agents actually endorsed the bill.
You are blaming Donald Trump once again, and he is not in office, okay? And people are too unintelligent to know that that border bill was a piece of crap. It wasn't bipartisan. No one, they had 2 Republicans that supported that damn bill. It wasn't bipartisan. All it did was open up the border for 250,000 migrants to come in legally, quote unquote. Watch this. She's going to blame Donald Trump, and he's not even in office. And they thought that was acceptable.
It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl. And I'm looking at people from all over the country here. So I don't need to tell the folks who are watching this what fentanyl has done to families, to kids in our country, and the need to take seriously stemming the flow coming into our country and addressing that extraordinary and tragic issue in terms of its effect. The bill would have allowed us to have more resources to prosecute.
Okay, you don't get the bill didn't pass. Answer the question. The guy said, what are you going to do to the border? How are you going to control the border or decrease the flow at the border? I think that's what he said. You still not answering the question. You talking about this border bill that didn't pass. Okay, we need to get past that. We need to move forward. It didn't pass. What are you going to do? And you keep on talking about fentanyl like they bringing fentanyl in the border at the porter entries. No, they're smuggling it in. That has nothing to do with. Now this let me digress. This does have a directly effect at the border. Okay, so if you're not processing these people and you just letting them in and you're not searching them, okay, they of course some fentanyl is getting in, but that's not where the main fentanyl is coming in. The fentanyl is not coming in at the ports of entry. It's being smuggled across. Those gotaways that we talk about, gotaways that quote unquote nobody knows the number, they just estimating the number. That's where the fentanyl is coming from.
Transnational criminal organizations. And it would have been part of the solution. And Donald Trump called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote. He blocked the bill, and you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And he has put his personal political security before border security. Because understand, even in the intervening months, what that bill would have done to give support to folks who care about this issue. And this again gets to the point about what does leadership really look like? And is it about you or is it about the people? Right. Is it about running on problems or fixing problems? My work and my career has always been about saying, let's fix problems. Let's address the needs because we know it's within our capacity to do that.
So to answer Justin's question, now that that bill has gone and hasn't passed, will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely. And when I am elected president of the United States, I will make sure that bill gets to my desk and I will sign it into law.
Thank you, Justin.
This is a bunch of bullshit. I will make sure that bill, yeah, you got to have the majority of people agreeing with the damn bill. If you don't have the majority House and the majority Senate and people don't vote on it, you're not going to sign shit. This is why people need to really think intellectually. We still have to have, there still is a legislative body in the government. The president can only do so much. Now, she can't sign an executive order. That's what I would say. Okay, I realize, and maybe I want to, slam Donald Trump because this is part of my political campaign. Donald Trump did it this way. He thought running on the problem was a good thing. But when I'm the president, I will create this, and this. And then I will work with Congress to make sure these executive orders, that these temporary executive orders that I put in place to make them permanent, part of our process at the border. Okay, that's how you will answer the question. But no, she didn't answer the question. Oprah Winfrey had to chime in and said, okay, to answer his question, if the bill comes across, you'll reintroduce that bill. And you don't even have, does she have the power to, you guys put in the chat, the president, do they have the power to reintroduce a bill? that's failed. Your bill failed. You didn't write the bill. So you got to call down to the House and said, hey, reintroduce that bill and make sure it passes. I mean, what are we saying here? And they clapping like a bunch of seals. Anyway.
Listen to this. A majority of young Americans, 18 to 34, say that the cost of living is their top issue ahead of the election. Let's take a look.
Groceries are extremely expensive right now.
I don't understand how people are affording life right now.
For so many Americans, the high cost of living is their top concern this election.
Rach, we have $435 to last us till the end of the month. Okay?
What?
In Philadelphia, Rachel and Garrett say they have to watch every penny.
When I think of middle class, I think about people who are able to just get up and go and do things within their means and like not extravagant things, but be able to get up and go to dinner whenever they want, or maybe take that trip, that long weekend trip. We don't have that luxury.
By a long shot, her tax plan is phenomenal, no glaze.
Kamala Harris just delivered her new economic plan, and boy, oh boy, is it good for small business owners.
Holy shit, you guys. Kamala Harris is going to announce tomorrow a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers.
You guys are saying, oh, she's going to give tax credit and tax $50,000 tax credit for small business. She's going to inject give $25,000 to first-time home buyers. She's going to give $6,000 for first-time baby people, baby heifers. All these give. Who's paying for it? Does that fix the economy? No. I'm not a business owner, okay? I'm just putting it out there. I am a business owner, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm just a normal, everyday citizen. I'm not a business owner. I'm not a first-time home buyer because I own my home. So since that, and I'm not going to have any more babies, and if I do, I can't take advantage of that $6,000. But I'm still struggling. My husband bought a pack of turkey meat, 85% lean, and the damn thing was $14, $15 for 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds. I think they call them 2.5 or 3 pounds. $14. He bought 4 or 5 items from the grocery store and it was $40. Who's paying for these tax abatements, or I guess you want to call them tax credits? You are. It's going to cause more inflation. That's what normally happens. Cause more inflation, so your value of your dollar buys less, and then we're in the same problem. Like, what are we talking about here? How is that a good thing? And then you have, once again, these silly men. Oh, Kamala Harris just laid out this awesome tax plan. This is not a tax plan, you guys. This is a giveaway. It's not a tax plan. This is a giveaway. This is welfare. Don't give me shit. Give me the means to make money. That's what I want. I don't want no tax credit. Lower my taxes, number one, permanently, and give me the means to make money.
When I am elected president, I will make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans.
Well, Rachel and Garrett are joining us on Zoom from Pennsylvania, and I understand your sister and brother-in-law moved in, and you're hoping to save money to have a second child?
That's right. Hi, Oprah. Hi, Madam Vice President. It's nice to be with you all.
Yes.
Hi.
And so, what did you want to say to the Vice President?
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. We ended up giving up our apartment, moving in with our parents who were so gracious to take us in for over a year so that we could save money and ultimately buy a home, because that's what we thought the American dream was, to get married and buy a home and have a baby. And now here we are, and our mortgage is married incredibly higher than what we thought it would be. And my sister and our brother-in-law are living with us right now so that they can hopefully one day do the same. And while it's beneficial for us because they help us pay off some of our mortgage, it's also beneficial for them because they can save on cheaper rent. But we really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging, which is when, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones, they take advantage of people, especially during a pandemic or extreme weather, and they end up jacking up prices, and there needs to be accountability and consequence for that. So I'm going to be taking on price gouging. But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership, right? So as someone mentioned during this film, look, I grew up.
This is why Kamala is not fluid. She's not genuine. She's not original. Everything is rehearsed. They just told this woman, we just bought our first home and the mortgage is more than what is expected. And that is true, because they probably saw the payment, but when you're a first-time home buyer, you have your, unless if they didn't put the 20% down, they probably facing the PMI insurance, and they're also facing homeowners insurance. They also have to put the taxes in, the land tax in for the escrow, so you won't miss. You're a first-time home buyer, they're going to put that in, they're going to roll that in your payment. So yeah, your payment is more than what is expected. And let's talk about homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance have went up about 35 to 40% since Donald Trump's been in office. I was paying $1,100 on homeowner insurance, and now I'm paying $1,600. My house value hasn't changed. It's been pretty steady for the last 2 to 3 years, but my home insurance have increased about 35%. So yes, they're facing that. They already bought a home. So why are you regurgitating some information that has nothing to do with them? They're trying to ask you, how are you going to increase the value of our dollar? How are you going to do that, Kamala? And you talk about first-time home buyers. That's not answering the question.
I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home.
Look at this guy. He like, I don't believe this shit. This woman, she's saying the same shit. They look like they disgusted. All these people, look at these people faces. She looked bored out of her damn mind. They probably just came because Oprah Winfrey is there. But all these people do not look excited or excited to be there, or really like enthused. Like, okay, we've heard this song and dance before. She's going to talk about her mom being the first time home buyer, and she scraped up every penny she had. And the lady downstairs was we called her mama something, and she was a business owner. The same crap that you talked about the last 5 interviews, Kamala.
And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center that was owned by the woman we called our second mother, because she helped my mother raise us. And she was a small business owner, Miss Shelton. So I'll bring all this together to tell you the way I think about it is, one, when people work hard and have a dream of buying a home, we should give you the opportunity to be able to do that, which is why part of my plan is for first-time homeowners, buyers, to have a $25,000 down payment assistance to buy your first home. Because people just need to be able to get their foot in the door, and then you'll do the hard work. Part of my plan.
If I was part of that audience, I wouldn't have clapped, because you didn't answer this woman's question. We already got a home. How we gonna keep it, Kamala?
Plan is what we need to do to support small businesses, because my second mother was...
Did I say anything about small businesses, Kamala? I'm not trying to open a small business. I'm trying to keep my home. Hello? The mortgage is not affordable. What are you doing about that? Are you trying to start a small business? Okay, give me some ideas. But I'm trying to have another baby. I'm trying to have another baby.
A small business owner, and I love our small businesses and our small business owners. They are not only business leaders, they are community leaders. They mentor, they hire locally, and we have so many entrepreneurs in our country who have great ideas, incredible work ethic, but not necessarily access to capital, because not everybody, like my opponent, was
This guy, he's looking like, hey, yeah, I'm not voting for her. I'm not voting for her. They gonna go, she probably gonna still vote for Kamala. He gonna be the silent, we have a whole bunch of silent men or silent supporters of Trump. They can't let anybody know that they support Trump. They just gotta go in silent behind that booth and check off Trump. This is the guy, because he looking like, what the hell is she talking about? That's what he looks like.
And $400 million on a silver plate that he filed bankruptcy 6 times on. And so part of my plan is to give startup small businesses a $50,000 tax deduction to start up their small business. Right now it's $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So that's part of my plan.
That's a teeny tiny business.
That's a business in
teeny tiny business.
It's a concept of a business, right?
Yes.
You know where I'm going.
Why are they clapping?
It just hasn't happened, right? Part of to speak to you guys and your family and your dreams is what we need to do around giving middle-class families tax breaks. And so part of my plan is also to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that you can, in the first year of your child's life, have the resources to be able to buy a crib and a car seat and
by the time you get in office, they're not going to have that. Come on, they already had their first baby. They're not going to be able to take advantage of that either. You didn't answer the question. I'm sorry for keep on cutting her off. You guys put in the chat, did Kamala answer these people questions?
And clothes for your baby, knowing that's such an extraordinarily important time in their development, and you shouldn't have to worry about how you're going to take care of their basic needs. All of this and more is part of what I plan to build, and I call it an opportunity economy. And it's basically about creating opportunities, knowing so many people have the ambition, have the aspirations, are working hard.
And aspirations.
Opportunity to reach their goals and their dreams.
I saw you smiling with that $25,000 credit for the home. I saw that smile on your face and the $6,000. Thank you all so much. I want to just introduce to
guys.
Shelby, who's also in our virtual audience. Thank you guys. Shelby from Virginia, who's also struggling with the cost of living. Tell us your story, Shelby. Why?
Hi, Madam Vice President. Hi, Oprah. I'm 24 years old. I'm a graduate student living with my parents, and I want to move out next year and potentially buy a home. And I'm concerned about the affordability of one with the extra costs and bills I'm paying now, along with the bills and costs I will pay in the future too. And so everything just has a cost and everything is so expensive. And so I'm worried about my capacity and how I'm able to fully support myself once I do live independently.
You sound like one of my daughter girls from South Africa graduated. She was like, I hate adulting. I hate adulting. This adulting isn't going so well. Yes.
Well, so first of all, congratulations on all the success you've already achieved. And it is your story and the story of our friends before you is really, that's the American story, right? You are working hard, you have goals, you have ambitions. And so part of it is, again, the $25,000 down payment assistance. Part of it is what we need to do to also push back against a very different vision for our country. Because look, in this election, there are two very different visions for our country. One, for me, that is focused on the future, including you, and another that is focused on the past. What Donald Trump, what my opponent plans on doing for the economy is doing what he did the last time he was president and giving another tax break for billionaires and the biggest corporations that would add $5 trillion.
Actually, he gave tax breaks to everybody. He gave tax breaks to everybody. Kamala Harris is not going to answer this question either. You're not going to answer this question. You're going back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump economy was actually excellent economy. And you can't argue with that.
Dollars to our deficit. And get this, he plans on doing what I call a Trump sales tax, which is basically he's going to put a 20% tax on everyday necessities that economists have estimated will cost the average American $4,000.
What is she talking about? What is she talking about?
More a year, which is why Goldman Sachs, which is why Moody's, which is why Wharton School of Business, which is why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively determined, after analyzing our plans, one, mine would strengthen the economy, his would weaken it. Two, that on his plan, he would actually blow up inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So when you think about the cost of living, my approach is about lifting you up. His would be about actually weakening our economy. And I feel very strongly when an individual, when a small business, when a family, when the middle class is strong, America is strong.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, Rachel.
That was a total lie. Donald Trump is not trying to put a 20% sales tax on all goods. He's not trying to do that. I'm assuming that she's talking about the imports taxes. I forget what they're called. That's not. Actually, we're doing that now. Joe Biden thought it was such a good plan. They're doing that now, but imports on goods. That's what she's speaking on. That's a total lie. Okay, he's not trying to tax all goods. Stop lying. So you just lied to the American people. This is Donald Trump platform, just in case you guys are wondering about it. The only tax thing that he proposes is to cut taxes. Now, I know It's not on his platform, but I know he's talked about cutting taxes of Medicare tax, which I think that would be a good thing. They do need to cut Medicare tax. You worked all your life. Why are you taxing something that I invested in? You use my money to do something else with. Now you're going to tax me on it. That's totally hogwash. But anyway, large tax cuts for workers and no tax tips. Those are the people that's working in the service industry and receive tax tips that Kamala Harris signed. She broke the vote. It was a tie vote. Kamala Harris signed that bill into law. That's why you have your wages taxes now, or taxed now. If you are in the service industry and your tips are being taxed, because Kamala Harris broke the vote, okay? She voted yes. This is why you get taxed now. So what the hell is she talking about? I'm not for sure. And then large tax cuts for workers and no tax tips. So we know that's what Donald Trump is trying to do. Fight to protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to retirement age. You know, the federal government is trying to increase the retirement age. I think they already did. It went to 67. It might be 70. By the time me and you get around, it might be 80. We might be dead before we could take advantage of Social Security. We're not going to even have Social Security. So that's what they're fighting for. So that lie that Kamala Harris just spread, it's a bunch of hogwash. Don't believe the hype. Okay. She just told a bold-faced lie. I don't know why they even let her get away with it. But this is a town hall meeting. Anyway, let's get to some of your comments. Courtney Smith, thank you for the super chat. She been drinking. You know she drinking. Kamala Harris been drinking. That's probably why she's all over the place. But she regurgitates the same information. Kamala Harris. She says nothing new. I'm not surprised. And you know, at some points, I'm not going to play the whole interview, but some points in the town hall meeting, you know, Oprah Winfrey had to save her. I believe Oprah Winfrey does not really care too much for Kamala Harris, because Oprah Winfrey, she's an intellect. Kamala Harris is not. She don't like Kamala Harris because I don't think the Obamas care for Kamala Harris, because I don't think they like her work ethic. She's not an intellect. She's not one of them. She's not like them. Oprah Winfrey, Barack Obama, those elite individuals, they actually worked hard for where they're at now. Kamala Harris, she didn't. She didn't work hard for where she's at. And she's not a smart individual. So that's why they're probably baffled right now. How did she get to the place she's at? But you know, I guess that's the next best thing. You know, they don't have nobody mature enough, or I guess developed enough to usher in as a candidate. So Kamala was the next best thing. She had VP in front of her name. The Bidens don't like her. Half of this audience don't like her. They only clap because they probably got clap signs somewhere. So we know that mainstream media is holding on to Kamala Harris' identity to make her look like a child sweetheart, and she is literally making it hard for them. Okay. Last thing about Kamala Harris, Janet Jackson was given, you know, a bunch of crap. Okay, before I play this story, I'll play this one. This is from BuzzFeed. Janet Jackson is getting slammed for ignorant and disappointing comments on Kamala's race. Why is it ignorant? I don't think it's ignorant. I think it's her own personal opinion. And if she heard that in the media, she has the right to repeat that. But a lot of black people are saying Kamala Harris is not black. And she's not. Oh, just because you're from Jamaica doesn't make you black. I pointed out this morning, Elon Musk is from Africa. He don't got one piece of black skin on his body. Ethnicity, nationality, and what is it called? Race. Is that the differences? Ethnicity is where your bloodline comes from. Nationality is just you're accustomed to that land. I was born on this land. My nationality is American. By ethnicity, I'm black. I'm a black American or African. I don't like to use African American, but I'm American African because that's where my bloodline comes from. The guy, her dad is from Jamaica, which is his nationality, but his ethnicity, they said he's Irish. He's white. Slave owners. That's what his bloodline is. I don't shoot the messenger. That's why they always saying that Kamala Harris is not black. Oh, she's Jamaican black. Well, no, she's not Jamaican black because her father's not Jamaican black. Your father has to be Jamaican black for you to be Jamaican black. Janet was being interviewed by The Guardian when she was asked about the position on the upcoming election, with the interviewer noting that America could be on the verge on voting its first black female president. And she responded, well, you know, they supposedly say, Janet replied, she's not black. That's what I've heard, that she's an Indian. What is wrong with that? Why are you getting mad on Janet because she said that? She was Indian. We didn't know she was black until she got in to what is his name? Joe Biden saying, oh, she's black. We're gonna, and then everybody like, oh, she went to Howard University. Oh, she's an AKA. Oh, she's a sister. No. Right. So why don't we say Rachel Dolezal is black? She was the president of NAACP. Why can't she be black? When the interviewer responded that Kamala is both, Janet incorrectly said, why are they saying Janet incorrectly said her father's white? No, her father is white. That's not incorrect. Her father is Irish. And why don't her father speaks out? Because I hear her father doesn't like her either. Her father is a Marxist, number one. And then number two is he doesn't like Kamala. Your own daddy don't like you. Anyway, that's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. You know, Janet Jackson, I think her family is really like pro-black. So this is not, they're trying to get Janet canceled and trying to shame her, but I stand with Janet. Stand on what you is saying. This is what I believe and this is what I was told. After repeating that Kamala is a dual heritage, the interviewer asked Janet whether she thinks America is prepared to see her in office. I don't know, she said, whispering. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes is going to be mayhem. Who is this? Janet Jackson girl. Janet Jackson sounded an absolute fool in that interview, and I'm very disappointed, one tweet read. These are all anti-Janet. You know, Janet Jackson supporters are, she probably got a lot of gay supporters, international supporters. These people probably ain't never bought Janet Jackson record ever. So Janet Jackson, I wouldn't feel bad because they trying to shame you about what you just said. And unless I believe I seen his birth certificate, her father's birth certificate, or her birth certificate, and it says he's Jamaican. Like I said, Jamaican is not is a nationality. It's not ethnicity. It still doesn't tell you where your bloodline is from. And if you look at that guy, he has straight hair. He has olive toned skin. I believe he's Irish and Asian. Southeast Asian, to be exact. That's what Kamala is. Now, The View was saying, Whoopi Goldberg defends Janet Jackson over Kamala's mistake. This is Whoopi Goldberg. If they'll play. I guess it's not going to play. Anyway. It's saying that The View led its first show of the week on Monday, and the controversy surrounding Janet Jackson false claims about Kamala Harris' race. Jackson got some unlikely support from the moderator, Whoopi Goldberg. Jackson drew widespread condemnation over the weekend for echoing Donald Trump's false claims about Harris' heritage. Why are they saying it's false claims? Well, I don't understand that. She's not black, Jackson said in the interview. She's not. The Indian, she's Indian. Her father's right. He's Irish or white in Indian. That's what I was told. I mean, I've watched the news and I haven't watched the news in a few days, blah, blah, blah. We already discussed that. It says no matter how you feel about celebs speaking out politically, it's okay for somebody to say, you know, I made a mistake. The problem is Janet Jackson has not said she made a mistake. In fact, it appears to have fired the representative who issued an apology in her name. She doesn't need to apologize. Why does she need to apologize? Because she doesn't agree with your political affiliation? This doesn't make any sense. You guys, they damn on The View, they what's her name? Sunny Hostin was giving Patrick Mahomes' wife a bunch of crap because she is a Trump supporter. You guys, just a second. Let me go. you lock the door and set the alarm again? Yeah, so they were giving Patrick Mahomes' wife a bunch of crap because she is a Trump supporter. So you only could agree with one political party. You're canceled if you agree with somebody else. This is a bunch of crap. So now you got people coming for Janet Jackson, and I agree with Janet Jackson. She's standing 10 toes down on what she said. So you have people reacting on X saying, Janet Jackson, my childhood crush, told no lies. Kamala Harris is not Black American. She is a Southeast Asian Indian woman with multiracial roots. If Kamala Harris gets to call herself Black, then I just call myself white and Native American and exclude my Black American family. Everyone bashing Janet Jackson for saying she didn't know Kamala Harris was Black. Don't hate the artist, hate the messenger, is what they told us. Janet Jackson is right. Kamala Harris identified as an Indian woman until she figured out it was more political advantageous to be Black. Janet Jackson fired the publicist who apologized to the media on her behalf in regards to the Kamala Harris comments. She is not playing about this. She said what she said and she meant it. Kamala Harris is not a Black woman, according to Queen of Pop. Royce White said, let me find out if y'all trying to cancel Janet Jackson because she said what everybody was thinking. Y'all can't take a Black card too. Ain't no way with Janet Jackson. At some point, we got to stop. How far are y'all willing to go for these Democrats? Okay, Janet Jackson, oh hell no. As a 90s baby, I refuse to let y'all tarnish Janet Jackson for speaking her mind. Kamala Harris is fake as a $3 bill, and everybody who listens to this kind of music knows it, whether they want to admit it or not. The people are coming. Godspeed. Yeah, D.L. Hughley needs his hands and foot put on him. It's one thing to shield for Democrats, but to disrespect Janet Jackson, a Black American icon, over an Indian lady is wild disrespectful. Because D.L. Hughley, let me show you his post. I don't know if he said it on the radio. Oops, wrong. D.L. Hughley put on his tweet, he said, Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Looks the way she does because she has a plastics. Janet Jackson looks the way she does because she has a plastic surgeon. Janet Jackson interview sounded like a Trump rally, FYI. It's a little ironic to question whether someone is Black while you're breathing through a nose of a white woman. Yeah, DL, I think, just because someone received plastic surgery, that's still their nose. It's still their black DNA is running through their vein. You can't change that about Kamala Harris. I don't think it's a big deal, because I guess we could identify I guess, as anything we want nowadays. I'm not surprised, for them to attack Janet Jackson over this, because Kamala Harris is now American sweetheart, I guess. So DL Hughley and these other people, that's attacking Janet Jackson, they just need to shut the hell up. This is my own personal opinion. Shut up. Because you're not going to cancel Janet Jackson. She's uncancelable. Cancelable. Yeah. Somebody put on here, bullying and trying to cancel Janet Jackson for speaking her mind after the death of her brother. With all the contribution to Black culture she and her family have made over an Indian cosplayer is one of the most diabolical things the Democratic shills have pulled yet. Oh boy. Janet Jackson says Indian Jamaican Kamala Harris is not Black American. White liberals and Black Democrat shills lose their minds and immediately go on an attack against Janet and Black American women. They desperately need the Black vote, and they publicly attacking the Black American woman. Because of the Democrats know they don't have to earn the Black voting block. It was crickets when 94 crime bill Joe Biden said, "You ain't Black if you don't vote for me." Then this is very same crime bill that caused the mass incarceration of Black men. All my skin folks and kin folks. It says most celebrities will lie for their own benefits, especially during an election. It's rare to find out one that goes against the grain to speak their mind. Salute to Janet Jackson. Yeah, I mean, salute to Janet Jackson. You trying to cancel her for speaking her mind and actually speaking the truth. Kamala Harris is not a Black American. Kamala Harris is not Black, period. She's Jamaican, maybe, but her bloodline doesn't say. She probably don't got one Caribbean blood in her body. Her parents were colonizers. Her parents was colonizers. That's why they end up in Jamaica. This is something. This is from Harriet Eve 9. D.L. Hughley didn't believe to protect his own daughter when she told him she was sexually assaulted by one of his friends, but he publicly disrespected Janet Jackson to protect Kamala Harris in the Democratic Party. This is so true. Democrat Party after the election. Black people, they gonna kick you out. We don't need you no more. We're gonna kick you out the bus. You go flying down the street. They should have a bunch of black Negroes running. Wait for me, Democrat. What about these reparations? So Kamala Mama, a side piece. Xavier, her own father said he was Irish and Indian. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's Irish and Indian. Her own father said that. And that's why you can't hear anything from her daddy, because they probably scrubbed the internet with all those interviews. Noble Young, Kamala. I'm surprised Oprah has white woman on staff that she let ask questions for Calamity Harris. You know, Oprah, she knows her base. Oprah knows her base. She appeals to mostly white women. White woman loves Oprah Winfrey. You know, the middle class white woman loves Oprah Winfrey, and that's her base. Noble Young, it is MAGA if you're nasty. Okay, you guys, I think I've been on long enough. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I got to figure out why it keeps on going now like that. But I really appreciate every single last one of you guys. Make sure you stay tuned in for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some more updates about Sean Diddy Combs and other things that's going on with the election process. So make sure you tune in tomorrow around 1:30. Once again, I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you tomorrow.